Ever heard of having chocolate gravy for breakfast? It might sound a little strange, but for folks in the Ozark and Appalachian Mountains, it's a cherished tradition that turns a simple meal into something truly special. This isn't your typical savory sausage gravy. It's a sweet, rich, and comforting treat that's often called hillbilly chocolate gravy. It's the ultimate comfort food, made from basic pantry staples, proving that you don't need fancy ingredients to make something absolutely delicious. So, where did this unique dish come from? The exact history is a bit of a mystery, but there are a few fascinating theories. One popular idea is that it evolved from Mexican-style breakfast chocolate, like champorado. Historians think it might have traveled up from Spanish Louisiana through trade routes into the Tennessee Valley, way back in the 18th or 19th century. Another theory connects it to the Melungeons, a unique cultural group in southern Appalachia, who may have held on to the recipe from early Spanish settlers on the East Coast. Of course, the most practical explanation is pure resourcefulness. During tough times like the Great Depression, meat for savory gravy was hard to come by. But ingredients like cocoa, flour, sugar, and milk were usually on hand. So, people created this high-calorie dessert for breakfast to make do. It was a humble meal born from necessity that has since become a beloved cultural staple. Fun fact, it even gained some mainstream fame as a regular favorite at Elvis Presley's home, Graceland. Now, you can't have gravy without biscuits, and we're talking about real, homemade Southern biscuits. The secret to getting those perfect, fluffy, flaky layers is using super cold ingredients and being gentle with the dough. First, you'll all need about 2 cups of self-rising flour. If you can find a soft winter wheat flour like White Lily, that's the gold standard. Take 6 tablespoons of very cold, or even frozen, unsalted butter. You can grate it or cut it into small cubes. Using a pastry cutter or just your fingertips, work that butter into the flour until you have a mixture that looks like coarse crumbs. This is key for creating those flaky pockets. Next, make a little well in the center of your flour mixture and pour in 1 cup of cold buttermilk. Using a fork, stir everything together gently, just until a shaggy, sticky dough forms. Be careful not to overmix. Now for the real secret to those beautiful layers, lamination. Turn your dough out onto a lightly floured surface. Gently pat it out a bit, then fold it over on itself about 5 or 6 times. This simple step is what creates all those irresistible peel-apart layers. After folding, pat the dough down to about 1 inch thickness. Grab a biscuit cutter and press straight down into the dough. Here's a pro tip. Don't twist the cutter. Twisting seals the edges of the biscuit, which prevents it from rising nice and tall in the oven. Place your biscuits on a baking sheet, or, for a truly classic touch, side by side in a cast iron skillet so they support each other as they rise. Bake them in a hot oven at 450 degrees Fahrenheit for about 12 to 15 minutes, or until they're beautifully golden brown on top. As soon as they come out of the oven, brush them with a little melted butter to give them a soft top and a lovely sheen. With our perfect biscuits ready, it's time for the star of the show, the old-fashioned chocolate gravy. You want it to be thick enough to coat a spoon, almost like a warm, thin pudding. In a saucepan, whisk together a 1/4 cup of unsweetened cocoa powder, 3/4 of a cup of sugar, 3 tablespoons of all-purpose flour, and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. Getting all the dry ingredients mixed well first helps prevent lumps later on. Now, slowly whisk in 2 cups of whole milk over medium heat until the mixture is completely smooth. Keep stirring constantly as it heats up. This is important to keep the bottom from scorching. Let it cook for about 5 to 8 minutes. You'll see it start to bubble and thicken up nicely. Once it's reached that perfect gravy consistency, remove it from the heat. Stir in 2 tablespoons of butter and a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Keep stirring until the butter is fully melted and the gravy is glossy and smooth. The aroma alone is just incredible. Now it's time to serve it up, the traditional hillbilly way. Take 1 or 2 of those warm, fresh from the oven biscuits, crumble them up into a bowl, and generously pour that rich, warm chocolate gravy all over the top. It's a breakfast that feels like a hug in a bowl, sweet, satisfying, and full of history. It's a taste of Appalachian ingenuity that you can easily recreate in your own kitchen. I hope you give this amazing recipe a try. Thanks so much for watching, and don't forget to follow for more delicious heritage recipes.